their question is, how much can we scale? And when does this CPA start to creep up? It would not go doubling your budget overnight because the algorithm doesn't know what to do with all that extra budget. So I can tell you that there's some indicators on when it's going to be tough to keep the CPA down where you need it to be. To scale or not to scale, that is the question. All right, guys, I'm Regina. Today we're going to be talking about a service-based company. It's one of our clients at StarterPPC. StarterPPC, what's that? I'm on the Solutions 8 channel. That's what's going through your mind right now. So StarterPPC is a sister agency created by and run by Solutions 8. But the main difference is we work with any businesses that have a budget that's under $5,000. So Solutions 8 has some budget minimums. We have a budget maximum. So if that applies to you, feel free to check us out in the description below. And I'm going to dive in. I'm going to start talking about one of my clients here. I will make sure to blur out their names so that we can keep privacy going. But this is a service-based company, and they're trying to decide, should they begin to scale their company? And if so, what will that look like? So I'll just let you know, this is a plumbing business, so it's local. And we've been working with them now for several months, maybe 4 months. I have the last 30 days pulled up. And what I want to show you here, first of all, is the cost per acquisition per lead is $166. Now, their goal, the amount that they can pay for a lead, is $200. So in the last 30 days, the cost per acquisition is too low, basically. We're leaving leads on the table. And so this is especially there's lots of wiggle room, right? And it's especially true because Google's ability to track and attribute conversions is becoming less and less and less, like almost every quarter now, as they put more and more privacy restrictions in place and aren't able to keep track of people that are switching devices, switching IP addresses, clearing their cache and cookies in between, coming to your website more than once, that type of thing. So probably this 166 isn't even accurate. It's probably even lower in reality. So definitely time to scale. And if I go back, I won't bore you guys by changing the dates, but if I go back in time, this 166 stays about accurate. So once you're kind of hitting your goal for a month or more, it's time to start to consider scaling. I would not go doubling your budget overnight because the algorithm doesn't know what to do with all that extra budget. So my recommendation for scaling is to scale slowly, right? Add about 20% to the budget. And if things go well after 1 to 4 weeks, depending on how often you get leads, you need to make sure that the average is still staying the same. So it might be 1 week that you can see that, or it might be 4 weeks that you can see that. But add 20% of the budget at a time. Once everything looks good, add 20% more. So their question is, how much can we scale? And when does this CPA start to creep up? So I can't tell you with certainty when the CPA will start to creep up. I do know that when you add budget, the CPA will temporarily, most of the time will temporarily go up a little bit, and then the algorithm learns how to spend that extra money. It learns who else they can target out in the world, where they can place the ads to do it efficiently, et cetera, and the CPA goes back down. It should go back down to where it was before you added that 20% more budget. If it hasn't gone back down yet and you've surpassed your goal, in this case, that would be 200, then don't add more budget, right? You've got to figure something else out. So if you're averaging your goal or better, then keep adding budget. And if it's not there yet, then wait, hold off. And while you're waiting, you can come up with some other stuff to try. So I can tell you that there's some indicators on when it's going to be tough to keep the CPA down where you need it to be. And that's when you're starting to run out of market size. So I've pulled up these two columns: search lost impression share due to budget and search lost impression share due to rank. So in the last 30 days, we've lost about 40% impression share due to budget. So out of the total market size that we're targeting, right? This is a service-based business, so we're completely doing inbound search campaigns, except for the brand. Well, even brand is inbound technically. So anyways, it's averaging 40% that we weren't able to hit due to the fact that we have a limited budget. So just right then and there, I know we can probably add budget until this 40% gets down to like 20%. Once it's 20%, it's going to be hard to squeeze out the remaining 20%. You might be able to get it down to like 10%, but it's going to start to creep up in the CPA. So we have some wiggle room, not a ton. This is a geo-targeted account because it's a local service-based plumbing company. So, we are kind of restricted geographically with a smaller market. Okay, there's also search lost impression share due to rank. This is similar to budget. Rank is kind of complicated because there's a lot of things that go into how Google ranks the ads. One of which is the main indicator is the bid that you're willing to pay, right? So if you're willing to pay $7 for a click, and your competitors are willing to pay $8, then they're going to capture more of that than you. They're going to rank higher because they're willing to pay more. So that's the biggest indicator of rank. And so a lot of this does tie into budget. A lot of it also ties into what you're willing to spend on a customer, which is on a lead, which is CPA. But this is another indicator, right? We have 56% that we lost due to rank. So if we were willing to pay $8, it would make our CPA go up. Maybe it wouldn't surpass 200, so it'd be okay with that. And and then we could add budget easily and take on more of this 56% lost impression share due to rank. But again, when you get down to like 20%, 10%, it becomes hard to squeeze out the remaining search impression share. For some reason, that just seems to happen every time. The CPA starts shooting up when you run out of market size. Now, you might be okay with that, right? So one option when that happens is to somehow be okay with a higher CPA. Maybe you figure out that your lead quality is so high in Google that your original assumption that you can only afford to pay $200 for a lead is wrong. And you find that you can actually pay $220 for a lead on average, right? So when you get there, redo your math and see if you if you actually have some remaining wiggle room and you can increase your CPA goal. So that's one way to scale. Another way to scale would be to increase your average order value, or the amount, the lifetime value of a customer is the word for service-based businesses. So if you're able to upsell, cross-sell, keep people coming back for more, raise your prices, whatever it is that you can figure out how to increase the lifetime value of a customer, that automatically changes your cost per acquisition that you can afford, right? Because now you're getting more for every dollar you spend. So that'll increase your CPA goal as well. You also can focus on trying to increase market size. So these numbers, you can change your targeting. That's one way. So if you're down to like 10% in these two, 10% or 20% in these two columns, then add some more keywords. Maybe you can come up with some keywords that you weren't targeting. You can deep dive into the search terms to see if there's anything that Google's been occasionally targeting, and then choose that to actually target as a keyword, and then force the algorithm to go after that keyword more often. That'll increase your the total impression share, which will mean that the lost impression share amount will go up. You can also add a service. Maybe there's a little side service that you tend to offer, but you really haven't been promoting it because, it's not your best-selling product, or, it doesn't have a big market, but occasionally there's people that are looking for that. So add a campaign for that, add an ad group for that. Maybe you can add a service to your repertoire. You get the point. Another way to increase your market size would be to rethink your geo restrictions. Maybe now that you've hired a couple of extra people, one of them lives way over there and you realize that they can go do the jobs way over there. And so you might want to add another zip code to your geo targeting. That's going to increase the total impression share, which is going to increase the impression share loss, which is going to give the algorithm more market size to work with and to try to get you the lowest CPA possible, which is going to keep the CPA from climbing.
This is not a glitch. I'm interrupting the video you're watching because I need to remind you that I'm always looking for people to join our team. So if you're passionate about Google Ads and you want to work with the best Google Ads agency on the planet, please go to solate.com/apply. Speaking of working with the best Google Ads agency on the planet, if you're having trouble with Google Ads and you want professional help, that's what we do. You can go to solate.com, that's SOL8.com, to apply for your free, no obligation action plan. And if I've given you any level of value at all, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. That's how we juice the YouTube algorithm so they actually know that I know what I'm talking about. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or confessions, hit me below in the comments. And now, back to your regularly scheduled program.
Other ways that you can help increase the CPA is to work on other ways that you can help to decrease the CPA. Let's say you're trying to scale and you keep hitting that $200 CPA, which is your goal. And you're like, gosh, would really love to add budget, but I have to hold off until the CPA goes down. Okay, so maybe what you need to focus on instead is your conversion rate. So that would be things like make sure the website is really good at converting people. Maybe you want to A/B split test a couple of different homepage edits that you've been considering. Maybe you want to add a couple of videos to your ads. That's going to actually increase conversion rate because now you can do some remarketing with those videos and get people back and converting. I don't know about in a plumbing company. It depends on, obviously some of these services are emergency services, so I wouldn't make a video for those. I would make a video for the ones that people spend a few days thinking about. That'll help increase conversion rate. You can also, if you haven't been answering calls on off hours, on the weekends, maybe you want to consider hiring a call answering service who can take leads while you're out. Maybe you want to upgrade your call answering service. I know there's some really minimum call answering services out there that simply just take down the leads information, which is fine. It's better than nothing. But, maybe you're at a point where you're like, okay, I need an actual call answering service that knows, how to answer some of these questions about plumbing and maybe can do some selling for me, even on off hours or on the weekends. So all of these are ideas on how to scale and when to scale. So I hope that gives you guys some stuff to think about. My thought process is, hey, if you're hitting your CPA goal and there's wiggle room, why the heck not, right? Try to scale. That's the time to scale. So if it's been about 30 days and you're averaging the CPA that you need, go for it. Add 20% budget and see what happens. And then you either need to focus on lowering your CPA or adding 20% more budget. Hey everyone, it's Regina at Solutions 8. I often get asked what budget is too small when you're just getting started with Google Ads. So I thought I would answer that question today. The answer is a little bit nuanced. There's some logic. I have some examples pulled for you. And so I'm going to get through all of that.